So when you're laying out a new bedded area and you're going to create a new edge, this right here is the single most important part of the whole process. You're going to make sure your symmetry's right, your measurements are right, everything is spot on, because once you come in and create the groove with the machine, it's a heck of a lot harder to go back and repair that and straighten it up than if you just did it right in the first place. So you can go back and check my track record. For years now, you've seen that I've always been the guy that's going to promote and teach and preach love your neighbor. Not only does that happen personally, but also as far as my yard is concerned, lawn care is concerned, it's helping them with their yard and helping them have a nice yard. But this year in 2024, I'm going to kind of put that to the side, not changing. I want you to know I'll still absolutely do that to help my neighbors in any way whatsoever I can. But I do want to help you and teach you some of my tips and tricks that I use to dominate the neighborhood. Not only the neighborhood, but the entire highway. And when you go into the city, dominate all of that. And basically talking about the entire county. So if you're a person who gets into that, you really got that competition type, my yard's gonna look a heck of a lot better than yours, then you're in the right place. Because this year, I'm gonna show you all my tips and tricks to help you do that. So where does the value in all this come from? Well, it comes from my 20 years of owning a lawn care company and being in this profession 20 years. I got really strong resumes. Here's one. And here's one. These hands have pretty much done anything and everything you can think of to do a lawn care, from mowing to treating the turf, aeration, seeding, verticutting, top dressing, leveling, bed edges, pruning, you name it. It doesn't matter. If it has to do with lawn care, I've pretty much done it. I also am a homeowner, and I have a property here. It's 0.97 of an acre, so almost an acre right here. Around the house, what I call my yard, is turf-type tall fescue, a little bit of bluegrass, a little bit of ryegrass mixed in, and then back here in the back where I'm working now is 100% Kentucky bluegrass, the GCI Turf Blue Heat. 2 days from now, my guys are going to come and put fresh pine needles down over the entire place because I want the whole property to look good. I'm not just about the turf. I want my whole property from this corner right here all the way to the front corner up at the front yard. I want it to look good, I want it to stand out, and I want it to be the best I can make it be. Take a lot of pride in being a homeowner. I was blessed with an awesome home, and it's my responsibility to take care of it and keep it up and maintain it. Not only the structural part of the home, but the outside as well. And just so happens, I own a lawn care company, and it's a personal passion of mine. I love going to work. I absolutely love getting up every day and going to work. I love my job, and that relates to my own personal yard as well, because I get to take the experiences I've had at work, apply them to my own yard, make my own property look good. This row of hedge right here was planted by the neighbor. That's the neighbor's property. Of course, I've talked to them about this and gotten their okay. Whoever planted these done a good job because they planted a nice, clean, straight line of them. And I want my bed edge to mimic that nice, clean, straight line of the planted trees here. So I don't care how good you are. You can drag this bed edge 100 times, and maybe once out of 100 you'll pull a dead straight line. When you're talking about pulling one, that's probably 75 or 80 feet down through there, if not a little bit more. So I need a visual marker to help me stay on track so that I can pull that dead straight line. Got a hammer, got a nail. It's one of those big 12-inch nails you get at Lowe's. Then I've got just some regular masonry string. This is a paint marking tool. This is Rust-Oleum inverted marking paint, and it's the bright orange one. And then this is a tool that you just buy at Lowe's. It's made by Rust-Oleum. It's got a little wheel on it so you can roll it on the ground. You take the paint can, you put it in here like this. It has a trigger. You can pull the trigger, whoop, you can pull the trigger, and that's how it paints. So why don't I just take this and run down through there and draw a straight line with it? Well, I'm just not quite that good. So I use the string to create the straight line. Paint right over the top of the masonry string, and I've got my straight line. Remove your nails, remove your string, because you don't want those to get in the way of the bed edger, because the bed edger will tear it all to pieces. Now, what about curvature in areas that aren't straight? Well, I'm basically going to take my straight line as far as I can take it until I want the curve to actually start. And then what I'm going to do is I'm simply going to eyeball it and put me a nice, easy arc right there that would be easy to mow around. You know, it's not too incredibly sharp, and it's not flat. It's just a nice curve right here that follows this line of plants right here, and that way has a good curvature for when I'm mowing. This machine's called a bed edger. Brown Product makes it, www.brownproduct.com. I rent this thing from a local ag store, farm supply store here in town. I don't own one for my company because we simply don't do enough of this type work to justify owning one. I think that's a Honda engine. Inside this red box over here that has the protective covering on it is the cutting wheel, and that wheel is going to spin at a pretty high rate of speed. That's the part that actually digs the groove. On the grass side, it leaves a straight up and down wall, and then it tapers off toward the bed. You can see this particular model right here has a locking feature to where you lock that in. It helps you to keep a straight line, or you can pull that up out of the way and it allows you to turn. Here's your engagement lever right here. You just simply squeeze that. Now once you get the machine fired up and you get RPMs up, you'll want to push down on this, then engage it, and then slowly let it down into the dirt. And when it's sitting level on the ground, flush with the ground, then you can start pulling it. And this is something, you know, depending on how hard or how wet the ground is, you can't pull it real fast. It's a slow go. We'll let it sit there for a while and warm up. It does have a depth adjustment on the back side right there, and I'm going to start about halfway on that, which will give me around 2-inch depth. If I need to go a little bit deeper, I'll adjust it on the fly. You can see what you're left with. Now if you're dealing with real wet ground, this is going to be real clumpy and yucky and hard to deal with. Pretty much the drier the better. And what you'll do is once you complete all your bedded areas like this, you'll want to take a rake, just kind of scatter all this out like that right there. And then the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to come in here, and everything from this edge right here over, I'm going to go and spray it with Roundup, smoke it off, it'll start the killing process, and by the time the guys get here in 2 days, the Roundup will have already done what it's going to do, and it's safe to cover it up, and they'll just die under my new pine needles. Notice this little bit of material that it leaves in the grass. You'll also want to come back with a backpack blower or a blower of some sort, and you'll want to blow that out. That way you get back down to nothing but your turf. You don't want that thick, condensed layer of ground laying there on the turf. It could potentially smother it out and kill it. And you can see right there what that does. It creates that nice clean edge. I'll put a link to these rotary scissors in the description below, along with the other things I used in this video. And I'm gonna go ahead and finish out this section right here so you can kind of see what the finished product looks like. I also like to take the blower and blow out my edge to get any loose debris out. And the last thing I'll do is take and actually edge the beds out, as like if I were doing a maintenance type edging when I mow. And there you go, nice tight clean edge right here. Like I said, I'll spray this with Roundup and kill off this turf right here, and then the guys will be here Tuesday, and all this will be pine needles from here over. And the way I maintain this edge is I like to edge out my beds every 2 weeks as I'm doing my mowing throughout the year, and that'll keep this line or this edge nice and tight and crisp. So I'm gonna get with it and finish this up. I've got quite a bit of bedded area to go all the way around this 15,000 square feet of blue, around my shed back here. Then I've got right around 14,000 square feet of fescue around the house. I've got to do all that. And hey, one more thing. Whenever you're thinking about nice, tight, crisp edges in your yard, I got your back.